The Empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Aging starts at the cellular level. When cells become toxic, they die early and aging sets in. In the past decade, we have witnessed unparalleled scientific discoveries. During that period, key patented compounds have focused on mitochondrial growth, nerve growth, and rejuvenation. But no one has put together a formula that focuses directly on brain health, nerve growth factors, and optimizing your cellular energy at the same time. We now have the synergistic solution, DNA Force, just one of the key compounds. BioPQQ is backed by major clinical studies and over 175 PubMed-listed published studies. You want the best that's out there at the lowest price anywhere? The ultimate value, cutting-edge, trailblazing game changer that also supports the InfoWar. Secure your DNA Force today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139. DNA Force from InfoWars Life.
Using unparalleled research in the development of a synergistic formulation based around the key concepts of super oxygenation, the next level in cleansing is here. With key ingredients backed by real clinical studies, the new Oxy Powder, available through InfoWars Life, was invented during Dr. Group's research on the toxification of our bodies. Many herbal colon cleansers are harsh on the body and contain cheap and potentially dangerous ingredients, oftentimes full of synthetic fillers, GMOs, additives, or worse. Gently start cleaning your body with easy capsules that start working while you sleep. Oxy Powder does not require time off work, and there's no need for bad tasting concoctions. Instead, Oxy Powder slowly releases monoatomic oxygen into the intestinal tract and body. Experience the astonishing cleansing power of superoxide and ozonide technology. Go to InfoWarsLife.com or InfoWarsStore.com to get started with Oxy Powder, or call 1-888-253-3139.
Another major health threat, this one in Toledo, Ohio, where everybody in the entire city has been told not to drink the water.
Ohio's governor declaring a state of emergency.
Did you know that the average person uses about 80 to 100 gallons of water at home every single day? If there's a water emergency, will you be prepared?
Panicked residents forming long lines throughout the day.
We're here at a supermarket in Toledo. You can see the shelves empty where water once was.
To stay safe and healthy during a crisis, you must have access to safe, clean water. Water which will not be available at your local grocery store.
There's a mad dash on right now to stock up on supplies.
The ProPure Pro 1 G2.0 water filtration system is a must-have for every modern, independently minded household. Protect your family's safety during an emergency. Go to InfoWarsStore.com today to purchase your ProPure Pro 1 G2.0 water filtration system or call 1-888-253-3139.
Rallying patriots worldwide in defense of human liberty. It's Alex Jones.
Look, it's very simple. You either have government of, for, by the people based on free market and basic values, or you have law of the jungle. Government of, for, and by conquest. And we've seen that. That's why there's such beautiful places all around the world that are in total squalor and have smart people with high IQs that live there. But they never had basic freedom. They never had basic values, so they're sitting in their own crap. I'm sorry to have to describe it that way. And listen, my family's all been successful. If America collapses just like we came here on the Mayflower and other ventures, I'll just go somewhere else. Even though globally there's not many other places to go. I'm really sad for the general public because the American dream is being stolen by fraud. And then those of us that produce are seen as the greedy enemies. And so many rich elites team up with that because they're crony capitalists. If you vote with your dollars and you vote with your actions and you vote by word of mouth, you could change the world. 15 years ago, you couldn't find organic food, as I've said 1,000 times, almost anywhere. In restaurants, in grocery stores, there was little boutiques. Whole Foods were tiny. Wheatsville Co-op. Fast forward, because people started buying it and supporting it. It expanded the market, drove down prices. With competition now, you go to a Target or a Walmart, they at least say it's organic or non-GMO, and the ketchup isn't, you know, a sugar. It's not high fructose, you know, corn syrup. Just your voting over 15 years has almost overthrown their system. McDonald's is down 33% this year, 20-something% last year, and so is all the other major fast food. People are done. Just by voting and demanding some quality, you got it. Now, on so many other fronts, we don't demand it, so we get things degenerating. When you promote Infowars.com or PrisonPlanet.com or DailyCaller.com or DrudgeReport.com or WorldNetDaily.com, none of us are perfect. Got a bunch of writers. I say stuff that's wrong sometimes. I'm a different person than I was 10 years ago. The point is I'm trying to be good. I'm trying to tell the truth. I'm trying to be honorable. I'm trying to have a future for my kids. And when you buy the books, the videos, the supplements, spread the word, support our local affiliates, you don't see it, but that's what grows the liberty movement, just like with organic food or anything else. And if libertarian conservatives would just start running for office, even if you don't win, to educate people, would just start giving money, not just to politicians or statesmen, but would start buying cases of books and give them to people, and buying cases of the new film Utopia that we're distributing. We're the exclusive distributor of up until December. There's No Place Like Utopia by Joel Gilbert. Excellent film about the free market and the nightmare of socialism and collectivism. Everyone should see that. You know the truth. Your grandkids don't. Your kids don't. The library, donate it. It's the only reason I've been successful, and I'm going to Tucker Carlson, and I want to get his take on what I just said, is because no training in RTF, no nothing, and you could see that the first 10, 15 years. I didn't want to turn my guns in. I saw them taking farmers' property, environmental groups, to turn around and build on it later. I saw mafia tactics. I got angry. I decided not to live in a ditch. I decided to stand up. I'm not living on my knees, folks. And I have reached hundreds of millions of people because of you supporting. So we're in a death battle right now with collectivists who want to finish the game, domesticate America, get 60% on welfare, get everybody dependent. They think it's game over. They think we're done. History shows evil's always arrogant. We have a very good chance of having a cultural revolution, not of communism, but of renaissance that will overthrow them. Now, I'm ranting. Tucker Carlson of DailyCaller.com's on, but you talk to a guy that's got one of the biggest news websites out there, been successful in mainstream media, alternative. I'm really laying on the line here that this is the come to Jesus moment for everybody out there listening to do more, to click on our sponsors, but to start their own websites, to do their own YouTube channels, to do their own radio show. You can't just count on Tucker Carlson or Joseph Farah or Alex Jones or Glenn Beck. You've got to do it. Tucker, you've got the floor.
Well, I mean, I completely agree with that. And one of the reasons I'm not a liberal is because I just despise whining and people playing the victim. I really don't like it. And at my worst moments, I do it myself, and I'm ashamed when I do. But I guess my point is that if you don't like the media as you find them, and you shouldn't because they're pretty bad, then you should make a change. Either read stuff that you think is honest, you know, get off the habit, break the cycle of dependence on the big three networks, on a lot of the corrupt newspapers that people use to get their news, and go find news sources that are not lying to you, or, as you just suggested, start your own. But do something about it. Don't be passive. I agree with that absolutely, absolutely. I mean, the shock to me is not that the legacy media are collapsing. Of course they are. They're terrible, and their business model is unsustainable. What's shocking to me is that anybody goes there, that anybody still watches it. Like the Today Show, yes, it's no longer number one in the morning, but it still exists. Who would watch something like that? I mean, it's not only propaganda, it's stupid and patronizing. So why does it have any audience? That's what I find distressing, and I just hope people will move on and go to something new.
That's part of my question, but what I was really getting at is we don't just have the jury box, the grand jury box, and the voting box. We have voting with our dollars and voting with our action.
Oh, totally.
And we're so close that if people out there really start doubling down to educate someone every week, to tell somebody about our websites every day, to put us on their Facebook, their Twitter, we're so close. They've got Zuckerberg and Google and everybody trying to kill the libertarian upsurge because they know we're coffin nails to their vampiric system. We're high noon to Count Dracula. And so, folks, we're... I mean, do you agree that it's key for folks to really support?
Oh, absolutely. And it's key in general to be mindful about where you spend your money. Is it consistent with what you believe? I don't think you should politicize everything. Not every purchase is a political act, but I do think it's worth being thoughtful about it. Absolutely. When I spend my money, if I can spend it on something that advances ideas that I believe, that I think are true, that I think make people's lives better, I do it. I mean, I live in the District of Columbia, about 100 yards from the state of Maryland. There's a gas station right across the border. I don't go there because I don't agree with how the state of Maryland is run. I probably buy gas cheaper there. I don't patronize it because I don't want to give money to people I disagree with. And by contrast, like most people, I shop at places where I know the ownership and like them and approve of what they're doing, and I don't think your behavior online should be any different.
And that's our real power. The system's trying to take that away from us. If we look at what Obama's doing with Cloward and Piven, they want us to go to the company store. They want us to go to the Soviet gulag, basically, and get our sausages and get our nylons. I just don't think that's going to work. Getting back into the election, how big a factor do you think election fraud is going to be with illegals getting caught voting everywhere? Here is a clip. I'm sure you saw it. Probably talked about it on Fox News.
Can I say one thing before I forget?
Sure.
I just love your riff on McDonald's. I hate to say that, but I agree with you completely. I never heard anybody say that before. I don't listen enough, obviously, but I totally agree with you.
Well, I mean, thank you, but I'm not just picking on them. It's just that, garbage, low-quality food, we need to just move away from it. And
I agree. I never thought I didn't used to agree with that, and I've gotten older, and I completely agree with you. Totally.
Well, McDonald's didn't eat. When I was a kid, McDonald's hamburgers were greasy and beef and tasted good. Now it's like alien Martian food or something. I want to play this clip of Obama last week where I think he's hinting for people to vote repeatedly. But regardless if that's what he's doing, that's what's going on. Let's play the clip.
And because early voting runs through this Friday, you don't have to wait till Election Day. You can vote all week. I mean, you can only vote once. This isn't Chicago now. You can. I'm teasing Chicago. I'm messing with you.
Yeah, he's messing with us.
That was a long
What
time
do you
ago.
make of that statement, and then what do you make of the real-world evidence of fraud coming up?
Well, there's an awful lot of fraud, and a lot of it, amazingly, nobody seems to care about. I mean, let me just make the obvious point that there is no justification for opposing voter ID laws except to abet voter fraud. Sorry. It doesn't make any sense. The idea that it's racist to ask for a driver's license, really? Then driver's licenses themselves are racist.
They are.
If black Americans can't get access to driver's licenses, then why are we requiring one to drive a car? I mean, it doesn't make any sense at all. The only reason that you're opposing that is because you want more fraudulent voting, because you know it benefits Democrats, which it does overwhelmingly. But we also know that in the 2008 election, hundreds of thousands of non-citizens voted illegally. Hundreds of thousands, maybe 700,000 voted. And so that's an almost definitive number. I mean, that's high enough that you can affect election outcomes. So there's no debate, really, among people who care enough to learn that it's happening. The debate is only between those who care about it and those who don't.
What would the Democrats do if Republicans started getting the voter rolls of folks that hadn't voted in a while and started going in and voting fraudulently? How would they like that? See, why is it, and I'm not saying we should cheat, but why is it that libertarians and conservatives rarely cheat, and with Democrats, they even have studies on fake environmentalists, they're like 6 times more likely to steal, to not be charitable. I'm just so sick of watching them run around and act corrupt while shaking their finger at us.
Well, that's true. I mean, moral superiority is a huge part of the liberal program. So the idea is not only to amass power and then wield it, in other words, get the ability to tell other people what to do and make them live a certain way, but also feel virtuous while you do it. That has always been the part of liberalism that makes me sickest, the sanctimony. I mean, isn't it enough that you're bossing me around, making me wear a seatbelt, forcing me to put out my cigarette, taking half of my take-home pay in taxes? Then you have to lecture me and call me names and say, well, you're not a working person. Really? Because I work an awful lot. Like, you're lecturing me? What is that about?
Let me ask you this, Tucker Carlson of DailyCaller.com, if you just joined us. What do you make, though, of jumping the shark, in my view? Obama and now Hillary saying, if you have a business, you didn't build it. And then Hillary comes out and says, companies don't create jobs.